$1.2 trillion. That's how much Americans owe on credit cards right now. Not mortgages, not student loans, just plastic. And here's what nobody's talking about. 22% of people with credit card debt believe they will never pay it off. Not it'll take a while, not maybe someday, never. They genuinely believe they'll die in debt. And the craziest part, this isn't an accident. Credit card companies have spent decades engineering the perfect trap. Every minimum payment, every convenience, every reward point, it's all designed to keep you paying forever. Warren Buffett, the guy worth $130 billion, once said, if I owed any money at 18%, the first thing I'd do with any money I had would be to pay it off. I don't know how to make 18%. Think about that. The most successful investor in history says he can't beat credit card interest rates. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how the credit card trap works, why it's gotten worse in 2026, and most importantly, how to escape it, even if you think you're stuck forever. Let's go. Okay, here's where things get dark. The average credit card APR right now is 22.3%. Some store cards hit 31%. For context, back in the 1970s, most states had usury laws capping interest at 6 to 12%. Anything higher was considered loan sharking. Today's normal credit card rates, they're literally higher than what loan sharks used to charge, and it's completely legal. But here's the real trap. It's not the interest rate, it's the minimum payment. Let me show you something that'll make your stomach drop. Say you've got $5,000 on a credit card at 22% interest. Your minimum payment is around $100 a month. Seems reasonable, right? You're paying it off, except you're not. At minimum payments, that $5,000 takes 23 years to pay off, and you'll pay over $7,700 in interest. Your $5,000 purchase, it actually cost you $12,700. 23 years for $5,000. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank calls credit card debt a cancer to your retirement. And here's the twisted part. He actually invests in credit card companies. Why? Because in his words, they make a lot of money on a predatory basis. He knows it's predatory, and he profits from it anyway. That's how lucrative this trap is. But wait, it gets worse. Credit card companies didn't always set minimums this low. In the 1970s, minimum payments were 5% of your balance. Then banks realized something. Lower minimums meant customers stayed in debt longer, more interest, more profit. So they dropped minimums to 2 to 3%, not to help you, to trap you. Last year alone, credit card companies collected $160 billion in interest. That's billion with a B, plus another $14 billion in late fees. They're not in the business of helping you pay off debt. They're in the business of keeping you in it. Let me tell you about Lana. She's 29, had a decent job, paid her mortgage on time. Then she got laid off. At first, it was just groceries on the credit card. Then the car broke down. Then her dog needed emergency surgery. Before she knew it, she had $40,000 spread across 6 credit cards. The minimum payments alone were eating her alive. She said, when you see yourself as a responsible person, it's hard to accept that part of your life is completely out of control. She eventually filed for bankruptcy. And here's the thing, Lana isn't unusual. Studies show 73% of credit card debt comes from necessities, medical bills, car repairs, rent when you're between jobs. We're not talking about people buying designer bags. We're talking about people trying to survive. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I'm not that deep in, let me show you who's actually getting crushed. Gen X is carrying the heaviest load, almost $10,000 on average. Millennials aren't far behind at nearly $7,000. And Gen Z, they're already at $3,500 and climbing fast. 53% of all credit card holders are carrying a balance month to month. That's more than half of America. This isn't a personal failure. This is a system designed to extract wealth from working people, and it's working exactly as intended. Okay, deep breath. I just spent 5 minutes showing you how bad this is. Now let me show you how to get out, because people do escape every single day. Dave Ramsey, love him or hate him, has helped millions of people get out of debt, and his core message is dead simple. Debt is dumb, cash is king. His method is called the debt snowball. You line up your debts from smallest to largest. Pay minimums on everything except the smallest one. Attack that one with everything you've got. When it's gone, roll that payment into the next one. Now mathematically, you'd save more money paying off the highest interest rate first. That's called the debt avalanche. But here's what Northwestern University found. People who use the snowball method actually finish paying off debt more often. The psychological wins matter. But here's the move that can actually flip the script. Balance transfer cards. Right now, there are cards offering 21 to 24 months at 0% interest. Zero. You transfer your balance, pay a small fee, usually 3 to 5%, and suddenly every dollar goes toward principal principal instead of interest. That $5,000 at 22%, if you transfer it to a 0% card and pay $250 a month, you're debt-free in 20 months. Not 23 years, 20 months. The catch? You need decent credit to qualify, and you absolutely have to pay it off before the promotional period ends, or you're right back where you started. Mark Cuban puts it bluntly: if you use your credit cards, you don't want to be rich. The first step to getting rich requires discipline. He calls paying off high-interest debt the best investment you can make. And he's right. Paying off a card at 22% is like earning a guaranteed 22% return. No stock, no crypto, no side hustle will reliably give you that. Remember I told you about people escaping? Let me tell you about Megan and Casey. They were $200,000 in debt. 200 grand. Credit cards, student loans, car payments, the works. They found Dave Ramsey at 2 a.m. during a sleepless, anxious night. Decided right then to change everything. Moved in with family. Drove a 20-year-old car. Strict meal plans. Every extra dollar went to debt. 3 years, 4 months, and 18 days later, debt-free. They literally danced around their house screaming when they made that last payment. If they can climb out of $200,000, you can climb out of whatever you're facing right now. One more thing before I let you go. President Trump just proposed capping credit card interest rates at 10%. Would save consumers $100 billion a year if it passed. Banks are freaking out. JP Morgan's CFO called it potentially devastating. Devastating for them, not for you. But here's the truth. Don't wait for politicians to save you. That bill might pass. It might not. Either way, you can't afford to stay trapped while they debate. Look, the system is designed to keep you paying forever. Every month you make minimum payments, money flows from your pocket into theirs. $160 billion a year in interest. That's wealth being extracted from working Americans and handed to shareholders. But you don't have to play their game. Pick a method. Snowball, avalanche, balance transfer. Just pick one and start. Because 20 years from now, you'll either be one of the 22% who never escaped, or you'll be someone who looked at this trap, understood exactly how it worked, and beat it anyway. The choice is yours. If this helped you understand what you're up against, hit that like button. And subscribe if you want more content that actually explains how the financial system works, not just the version they want you to believe. Drop a comment telling me, what's your debt payoff goal? Let's keep each other accountable. Next week, I'm breaking down the hidden fees banks charge that cost Americans $300 billion a year. You don't want to miss that one. I'll see you then.